AL.com for many, many years, going all the way back to the late 1940s. That's when they began publishing their annual post-spring SEC football report, and it continues here in 2022. And what they do, they get the media relations director. They were the sports information directors. Now they're media relations directors, sports information professionals, to vote on what they believe the order of finish will be, both overall and in the divisions in the SEC. Georgia won the national championship last year. Does that skew how the information directors voted? Not really. Because Alabama continues to dominate this particular poll. They got 11 of the 14 overall first-place votes.
I figured out what we were trying to figure out during the break. Yeah.
Can't vote for your own team.
Can't vote for yourself.
You take your own team out of the equation, and so it is a predicted order of finish 1 through 13 and predicted order of finish 1 through 6 in the divisions. But you still get 14 votes and 7 votes in the divisions based on the way they handle it. So Alabama picked to win it all with 11 of the 14 first-place votes. Georgia got the only other first-place votes, 3 of them. Georgia picked to finish second overall. They got 3 first-place votes, 9 second-place votes, and 1 third-place vote. Texas A&M picked to finish third, followed by Arkansas. Arkansas picked to finish fourth. They did not get a first, second, or third-place vote. By the way, nobody picked Texas A&M lower than fourth. You need evidence that Brian Haydad is not one of the voters? Not one of the voters picked Texas A&M to finish lower than fourth in the overall standings in the SEC. Arkansas picked to finish fourth, then Kentucky, then Tennessee, then LSU. And listen to this spread on the votes for LSU. They got 1 second-place vote, 2 third-place votes, 2 fifth-place votes, 4 eighth-place votes, 3 ninth-place votes, and 1 11th-place vote.
Whoever voted LSU for second doesn't need to be working in sports information anymore.
What's
it's a little harsh,
about that
but
is you know it was somebody from the East because when you break it down by divisions, A&M was unanimous second place.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's LSU and they've got good players and all that, but this version of LSU is going to win a bunch of games. How? Tell me how.
There's a lot of voting for the helmet stickers in this poll.
So the top 7 are Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and LSU. Bottom half of the league, Ole Miss. Big spread on their votes. 1 fourth-place vote, 1 fifth-place vote, 3 for 6th, 2 for 7th, 2 for 8th, 2 for 9th, 1 for 10th, and 1 for 12th.
Who is the football SID at Mississippi State?
Oh,
right 12.
Because I know who voted number 12. I'm just
Ole
kidding.
Miss followed by Florida, and then Auburn, and then Mississippi State, and then 3 East teams, South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Perhaps not surprising, all 13 voters picked Vanderbilt dead last. Let's go to the West. Well, let's skip the East for now. I don't care about the East. About the West. Alabama, unanimous first-place selection. Texas A&M, unanimous second-place selection.
Mind-boggling.
Arkansas picked to finish third. LSU picked to finish fourth and got 1 first-place vote in the West.
I would love to know who that was, and I would love to sit them down and say, why do you think, in detail, LSU will finish higher than Alabama in the SEC West?
In detail.
How did you get your job when you're stupid would be a better question. But we can go with yours, too.
Show your work, Michael Borky says.
Yeah.
Ole Miss picked fifth.
I want to do the math.
They did not get a first or second place vote. They got 2 third, 1 fourth, 1 fifth, and 2 sixth. Auburn finished finished 6th, and Mississippi State 1 spot behind them at 7.
Help me out with Auburn.
Help me out with Mississippi State.
I cannot help you out with Auburn. Mississippi State, I think it's just there's a lot of the way they finished the season. Because there's no way you can look at what State brings back in terms of production and what they bring back defensively and say they're going to finish last in the S. They were 4th last year. They were a kicker away from being 9 wins. They got a kicker in the – it's just we don't trust Mike Leach is all that is.
That's exactly right. I don't have as many State fans that ask me stuff as you do, Hey Dad, but every State fan that I know or that interacts with me asks me why – they were picked to finish 7th in the West. I don't think that'll happen that way at media days. I really don't. But 2 things.
They'll be 6th.
We did get a look at what Mississippi State was for 1 bowl game without Charles Cross, and it did not go well. Mm-hmm. And whether you think this is fair or not, listener out there, I'm not saying I agree with this, but this is how people view Mike Leach. Gimmick. And even though he's proven you at 2 difficult places to win, that with time he will win at an unprecedented level for that school. It's happened twice in his 2 major head coaching jobs. Even with that being a fact, people still don't trust him. For whether you agree or disagree with that, that's not what I'm saying here. That's how people feel. And until he proves it yet again at another traditionally hard place to win, people aren't going to buy. And that's just how they think. I don't agree with it, but that is what happens here, and that's what will happen in Atlanta if they're picked to finish last.
I said it many times that if State had just won its bowl game, finished 8-5, I think they would have been a preseason top 25 team. But as it is, everybody's questioning them because of the way they played in that terrible final game.
Hey, here's what doesn't entirely make sense to me. So if you're picking Mississippi State dead last in the West, you think they are going to lose to all 6 West teams and Georgia, and they're only going to beat Vanderbilt.
Well,
they don't play Vanderbilt. It's Kentucky. You think they're going 0-8?
Ooh.
But explain.
Well, if you pick,
it's not rooted in reality.
Miss, if you think Ole Miss is finishing 5th in the West, you think they're losing to LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Kentucky. You think they're going 3-5?
That feels far more likely than State going 0-8, to be totally honest.
The Auburn thing especially is mind-blowing. Have you seen the state of their quarterback position? For one.
I have.
It's mind-blowing.
4-8.
Who?
Auburn.
You are on the record in perpetuity. Well, not in perpetuity. Normally it's 8-4. This year you think 4-8.